Welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions Podcast, also streamed on expertcresecrets.com, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options, not having a clear plan is the enemy. Using a proven tax deferral strategy, sell highly appreciated cryptocurrency, real estate, or a business is the best. Using the Deferred Sales Trust is the best way to defer tax and grow your wealth. I'm your host, Brett Swarts. In each episode, I'm joined by some of the best real estate, finance, wealth, and sometimes cryptocurrency minds in the world, where they share the ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. I'm excited about our next guest. At one point, he was heavily involved as a broker and a trader in cryptocurrency, right? He's also has launched multiple companies, and he's kind of like an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, and has tons of background in logistics, marketing, sales, business development, operational management. And I'm looking forward to diving into this conversation with Rhys, and make sure I pronounce it correctly.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Rhys, are you there?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Sorry, we had a little connection issue.
No worries.
And Rhys, welcome to the show. For our listeners getting to know you for the first time, would you give us a little bit more about your background and your current focus?
Absolutely, yeah, thanks for having me. So yeah, I got into e-commerce at quite a young age, around the age of 14. Started off on eBay, slowly learned how to create websites, graphic design, that sort of thing. Eventually got into personalized gifts. And that's when I kind of moved to the capital of Wales. And from there, I kind of started to trade a bit of crypto. I first heard about it, must have been 2011. At that point, I kind of shrugged it off a little bit. So focused on the gift company, carried on my interest with crypto. And then as I started to make a bit more money, I got back involved with crypto again. And then it kind of developed from there. And then when COVID hit, I was kind of looking for an inflation hedge more than anything. So I started looking at gold, crypto, and kind of picked up from where I left off. And that's where I decided to really dive in, go down the rabbit hole, and really learn a lot more about crypto. And that's where I kind of am now. So the e-commerce company also did pretty well through COVID, which again has been a pretty big learning curve as well, actually, to be honest.
Thank you so much for sharing. And, I believe we've been given certain gifts in this life. Some people call them superpowers, some people call them strengths. I believe they're God-given gifts, and they're given to us to be a blessing, help to others. So I'm curious, what's the number one gift you believe you were given, and how does that help how you help and bless people today?
Being able to make money has probably always been something I've been really good at. And I'd say the way I probably help people is I'm quite heavily involved with a lot of charity. I give back a lot. That's right at the center of everything I do, and pretty much everything I try and get involved with. Yeah.
I love that. Being able to make money and being able to give back and charity, man. Those are two good things, right? Because why we want to create wealth is so we can give and help more people, right? And,
absolutely.
That's a beautiful thing. Great. So let's dive right into the number one secret that you found to trading, buying and selling cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of overcomplicated it at first. So when I was a broker, I was arbitrage trading. That kind of worked at the time back in 2013. But to be quite honest with you, I think my strategy now is just DCA. So just buying consistently, periodically, and holding. I've sold a little bit on some of the dips just to take a bit of profit. But I do look at Bitcoin as more of a savings vehicle than necessarily a trading instrument. So,
yeah, it's interesting coming from your background as a broker for this, right? It's interesting because it's such a volatile market, right? 2017, you see these kind of this massive amount of gains, and then it all kind of fell apart for the most part, right? Depending on what coin you're on. Then you see this massive amount of run up about 5 months ago, and now we've pulled back quite a bit as well. And so, what was been the biggest frustration when it came to capital gains tax, either for the folks that you were helping or for yourself, when it came to selling, right? Because cryptocurrency is subject to capital gains tax, right? It's an asset. So, what was the biggest challenge that you found during that time period?
Yeah, I mean, there's two sides to it. I think the biggest challenge is, if you're going in and out of different currencies. So obviously you've got stable coins. If you're putting fiat into stable coins, you've got a taxable event there. And then as you go in and out of Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, then also those can be taxable events as well. I think on the flip side, if you time it right, you can actually end up with a way to deduct and bring down your capital gains tax bill. So, for example, with this crash and the tax year in the UK is around April the 5th, that dip kind of allowed some people to sell a bit lower and then buy back in the new tax year and kind of utilize that.
It's smart, right? It's like, I guess, like tax loss harvesting, right? And depending
That's
on
it,
your
yeah.
state or your country that you're in, they have different rules for that. I think the U.S. has kind of put a stop to that. But yeah, you could sell and then take that loss and then immediately buy back in low and establish a new basis to run it back up, which is pretty awesome. Again, check with your CPA. We're not providing tax or legal advice. We want to make sure that's all above board. So what's the one thing you really learned besides savings? It's more of a savings account and maybe not trying to work the high the high lows. What was the one thing that kind of shifted that mindset, or the one thing that you really make sure you practice now when it comes to purchasing cryptocurrency?
Probably the main thing is just making sure I keep it secure. So, I just follow a strict periodic buy. If the price dips low, going off the fundamentals, if the market's looking like it's bottomed, then I would always put in a larger amount. But yeah, in general, it's just making sure it's secure and continue to DCA consistently. I just believe we're in an accumulation phase at the moment. And really want to hold on to it.
Excellent. So buying at the dips, buying well, long-term hold, like treat it like a savings account, right? Which is interesting. So you're not treating it like an investment account, although it is definitely an investment. But you're buying, you're putting your savings in there, dollar cost averaging in, buying low, trying to run it up, and then obviously keeping it secure. So what's just some best practices that you're using to keep it secure?
Yeah, so I use hardware wallets to keep it in cold storage offline. Obviously, the most important thing is to not keep it on a third-party exchange. That being said, I do use some products where you can earn interest on your crypto. But again, I keep a relative split of maybe 50-50. That risk reward is worth it in my opinion. And obviously, when the price does dip, you've still got that kind of income coming from the interest, which is quite competitive versus anything obviously in the fiat world at the moment.
Got it. So keeping a third-party hardware wallet versus keeping on third-party exchanges, right? And for those who don't know what a hardware wallet is, would you explain that?
Yeah, so there's a couple of there's a couple of versions of offline wallets, but a hardware wallet kind of looks like a USB device, or there's one called a cold card, which is like a little card reader. And essentially what that does is keep the private key or password to the Bitcoin wallet actually offline completely. It never touches, never goes online at all, as opposed to the opposite with a hot wallet, which is online. And the actual company, third-party company, would actually own the password or private key to that wallet. So you're putting your trust in that company then to not do anything.
Right, and not anyone to hack them as well, right? Because
yeah, exactly.
Get hacked too. So it's like having the key in your pocket, right? That could only open this safe, and that key only opens the safe, and it's not anywhere on the line to get the code. Is that a fair summary?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. And so now there's like a Google Authenticator, right, or different other ways, right, versus just the two-factor authentication where it's just like a text on your phone. Which, by the way, there's a thing called SIM card swaps, or people I've heard have called cell phone companies posing as the person, right, and get the SIM card swapped over into their phone, and then they're able to get the two-factor authentication. Basically, they stole your cell phone number, right? And then the text comes to them, and then they're able to get in, right? And that's for banking as well, which actually really surprising. I was on Wells Fargo, and they don't even have an option for the Google Authenticator, right? Which it's not just your text message. They'd have to get your physical phone. They'd have to, Face ID, get in, right, and then get into the Google Authenticator. So would you just talk a little bit about that as obviously hard, the USB cold card reader is the best, but talk about that next step with Google Authentication a little bit less.
Yeah, so Google Authenticator, that's primarily used for the online wallet. So usually you'd set up the security with having an email that you get sent a code to. You'd have the Google Authenticator app, which adds another layer. Obviously, the scam that you're mentioning is quite a sophisticated one. But it has been quite prominent at the moment.
Yeah, kind of scary to think about that, right? Even just for our bank accounts. And so I'm actually looking for, I don't know if you have recommend any bank accounts, right, that you would use that have that. I got to look that up. Bank accounts that again, it's not just two-factor authentication through a text message. It's through the Google Authenticator, which gives you another level of security. So are there any particular bank accounts that you use to guard yourself there?
To be honest, I'm almost unbanked at the moment. So I live pretty much with all my money in crypto. I use a bank called Starling in the UK, which is completely online. They haven't been around for too long. And again, I think where they've utilized technology, you can only use the app on your device. So without your actual device, someone would struggle greatly to get into your account.
Got it. So interesting, right? Such an interesting world. So, all right. So tell me a little bit about Starlight, or how do you pronounce it, or what the name of the company that you're doing now, and what was the motivation, right? You have such a unique background of cryptocurrency and business development and all of these other things. Starting e-commerce, you have e-commerce business, right? And so give me a little bit about starnameregistry.com. That's star-name-registry.com. What was the vision behind it, and how is it going?
Yeah, so that all started back in 2014. I've been, like I said, I was involved with e-commerce for quite a while, and I was kind of looking for the right opportunity, the right product kind of thing, and really got me looking at personalized gifts in particular. My aim was to end up with a gift company offering all sorts of different types of gifts, but primarily space. So I looked at the best-selling gifts that kind of came back to Name a Star, where we created Star Name Registry. And my vision with that was to take that really hot-selling product and then create infrastructure. So we sell enough to create infrastructure in Australia, America, Canada, where we've got distribution, we've got 24-hour customer service. And then my vision there was to expand our gift range once we had that in place, and kind of use that hot selling gift to kind of get our foot in the door. So I was kind of in a situation before starting the company where I had very low money. I'd worked in a call center for quite a while. And I was just thinking, okay, what can I do at this stage to build a multi-million turnover company? And so I actually moved above a post office so I could post as late as possible, because everyone obviously likes to get their orders pretty soon. And I kept a phone on 24/7 and just offered 24-hour customer service. And then as I grew the company and took on staff, we kept that at the forefront of what we do. And now we're looking to expand into all different gifts. So Star Name Registry is just one website of Our Gifts Limited, the company. We've got Maps for Moments and also Pick a Poem and various other personalized gifts. And the main reason to stay in the personalized gift space and to do that initially was that I sort of feel like it's harder for Amazon and other companies to come along and replicate the personalized gift sector, which gives us a bit more room to kind of grow and evolve in the space.
Really cool, really fascinating. Yeah, I haven't seen anything quite like it. And again, you can check that out. You can go to star-name-registry.com to check that out. And if you're watching on YouTube, I did a little screen share of his website. It's pretty unique. Excellent. So let's shift to the part of the show where we're talking about deferring capital gains tax, right? And so we're actually doing an Ethereum case right now, and we're doing another Bitcoin case, and another Ethereum case. Mostly those are the main ones that people are looking at the Deferred Sales Trust. In fact, as of Friday, we officially funded the first Deferred Sales Trust via, we use Kraken as the one that officially opened up. It took us like 60 days to get this account open because they were looking like, who are you guys? Like, what is this trust? What does this do? And for those who are listening for the first time, the Deferred Sales Trust allows you to defer capital gains taxes on the sale of highly appreciated assets, such as cryptocurrency. And so this particular client, they bought it for a very low price, and it's worth like millions of dollars, okay? And they're looking at a huge capital gains tax. And so we bring in the Deferred Sales Trust. They're able to transfer it to a brand new Deferred Sales Trust account with one of the exchanges. And then from there, they get a promissory note. They get the money paid back to them slowly, and they pay tax over time, just slowly. But in the meantime, they can invest it in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate. That's a really cool way to take advantage of the highs without getting hammered by the tax. Now, by the way, this only works for U.S. capital gains tax. There might be something in the U.K., but this is interesting. So I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that, or maybe you had friends or family or people that you worked with that might have challenges when it comes to capital gains tax for big old gains.
Yeah, I mean, I know a few people that have been hit quite hard with crypto. There's been a few cases I've heard through various people that I know, again, similar to your story there, where they've bought essentially millions of pounds worth of Ethereum and other cryptos, had an absolutely huge gain. And to be honest, been left in quite a situation where they can't even work it out. They've had an inspection or gone to submit the tax return, and they don't even know where to start. So, and what we've noticed as well is a massive lack of education with the accountants and just in the financial sector altogether. So, kind of leaves everyone a little bit stuck there.
Yeah, 100%, right? Because it is kind of the wild west in a lot of ways with the cryptocurrency world and what's going on, and it's like a kind of a gold rush in one sense, and people can get you got to pay tax, and tax is serious. So you got to make sure you have a plan, you pre-plan, and you make sure that before you sell, you know what kind of tax you're going to have and how you're going to pay for that and how you're going to budget for that. So again, you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to learn more about the Deferred Sales Trust. That's capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. That being said, and real also quick too, our minimum is $1 million net proceeds and $1 million gain. So it's got to be big enough. So if you say, well, Brett, I got 50,000 in crypto, I want to defer, 10,000 in tax. Can I use it? No, it's too small. So it's got to be $1 million or better in gain and $1 million or better in net proceeds in order. And that's on a one coin basis. If you have 100 coins like that, nope. It's got to be one on a per coin basis. Okay. So that being said, are you ready for the lightning round?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Knowing what you know now, if you can go back to your 25-year-old self, what's the one golden nugget you'd make sure to tell yourself to do?
Buy more Bitcoin.
Quick aside, my good friend, he was at Wall Street, like one of the original Bitcoin stores, and this is the beginning of it. And the guy was telling him, and he sat there for 30 minutes, going like, "Man, this is really smart. I should buy some." Right, and then he just walked away. But he could have bought it at Wall Street, like right there, right? Man, he's upset. But I'm sure we all have those kind of stories. Number 2, what's the one book you've recommended or gifted the most in the past year?
Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty.
Cool. What did you like about it?
It's basically he spent 3 years living in a Buddhist temple in India. It just taught me a lot of lessons about pretty much everything, to be honest, from relationships to how to kind of live in your dharma, doing what you're passionate about, and just general life lessons.
Cool. Live like a monk. Right on. Question number 3. What are you most curious about right now?
Ooh, probably the government's approach to COVID, and
that's we're living in interesting times, right? It's like the eye of the hurricane.
Yeah.
The hurricane was like last year, it was like, whoa, it's crazy, and now all of a sudden we're kind of in this kind of semi-peaceful state, but all of a sudden the wind's starting to pick up again, right? And all of a sudden it's like, are we going to hit the second wave of this whole thing? And it's going to be
that's it.
More lockdowns and more restrictions and less freedom, and it's not an easy solution and not a fun environment to live in right now. So Thanks for sharing that. On a brighter note, how do you stay encouraged after all your success and doing everything you do? How do you stay encouraged to charge forward to reach new goals and to keep living the gifts you've been given?
Yeah, I think it's always looking for something new. I find I have periods where I kind of, complete a certain goal, kind of tick off that area of my life and then move on to something else. And I think a little bit is just go with the flow. Those new opportunities always come along. But yeah, it's putting yourself in positions where those opportunities do come up. And then, constantly keep you on your toes and learn new things.
I love that answer. That's such a great answer. And I love your accent, by the way. And again, if folks are wondering, he's originally from Wales. This is Rhys King. It's spelled Rhys. You can find him on LinkedIn and you can find him on his website. And for our listeners, again, who want to get in touch with you, Rhys, what's the best place for them to find you?
Twitter's good for crypto. So at Mindful BTC Boss. So Mindful BTC Boss, and LinkedIn.
Is there one coin right now that you really like that you would want to drop a name on right now?
I'm not really. I'm pro Bitcoin, and I've dabbled with altcoins, but I've come back around full loop and ended back at Bitcoin again. So it'd have to be Bitcoin.
Awesome. And again, it's making sorry to pronounce it right. It's Rhys, right?
It is. Yeah, I get called Rhys a lot.
Okay, Rhys King. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for sharing a part of your story. And I would encourage you to keep using the gifts of you said in the beginning that your I forgot what your gift. What did you say your gifts were again? One more time.
It was making money.
Making money. That's right. Making money and giving some away and giving it away, helping others. Right. Use the gifts of generosity and entrepreneurship and building companies and making money in crypto. And go help a lot of people. The world needs more entrepreneurs to create more industry to help more people. And with that, I want to also thank our listeners for listening to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast. As always, we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy such as the Deferred Sales Trust is the best way for you to sell highly appreciated public stock, private stock, cryptocurrency, real estate, or business and defer capital gains tax. If I can help you at all, go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com and please rate, review, subscribe. We're also streaming on Expert CRE Secrets, right? And so you can check us out there as well. We're into commercial real estate, investing in real estate, brokerage, all of those things there with the Deferred Sales Trust combined is a powerful combination. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. We appreciate you out there.